Hey, Henrik, how you doing? Thanks for popping in, man. I appreciate it. We're gonna play some music today because fuck YouTube. If they don't like it, they can I don't know, not pay me. Oh wait, they already don't, so I don't really care. What's up, Mrs. T? How you doing? Cleveland, how you doing, buddy? I didn't realize that was your buddy's boat, Cleveland. That boat is that's nice. What's up, Turner? How you doing, man? Thanks for popping in, guys. I appreciate it. So, I've got some cherry lumber here, and it's got to sit here and acclimate for a little bit. So this will be the last live stream build before we start the cradle thing. Like I said, it's just got to sit here and acclimate for a little bit, so that way I don't have any weird, crazy, twisting nonsense going on. I hope everyone's doing good. You're in Walmart, pray for you. So before I get started, I'm just going to be building a little, like a little memorial box out of cedar. It's going to go. A customer wants to put it up at her brother's tombstone, and I forgot my box inside. I'll have to go grab it. I have to make it to these dimensions, or a little bit shorter than these dimensions. But the tombstone is like a bench, and the spot underneath the bench is where this box has to fit. So I'm going to make it out of cedar. We're going to do a little bit of laser engraving potentially. I have to end the live at about 5 o'clock today because I've got things to do. Either way, I'll post on my community page. I'll post a picture of the finished product, and we'll go from there. But there is something I wanted to talk about real quick. I get emails from people who watch the lives and videos, I guess, constantly. And I love it. I love reading the emails, right? The number of people that provide unsolicited advice, it's just astronomical. All right. I got an email from a presumably woman, based on the name of the email address. I got that email on Tuesday, and if I would have printed that thing out, I would still be printing. Right? It was, good Lord, it was a long email, and I read every single word. So at first I was annoyed, and I was going to do a video and tell y'all how annoyed I am, and I don't give a shit about your opinion on what I do, right? All of that happy horse shit. But I've had some time to think about it, and a few of the points that the lady made, or the sender made, we'll say, they were actually valid, right? Like, you guys don't see me use my mask very often, right? You may never see me use it again because I don't know where I put it. Huh. Well, either way, I do have a mask that I wear. Oh, here it is. I wear this mask every day, all day long, when I'm in the shop, except for when I'm on live streams. So I don't, how do I say this as nicely as possible while still getting the point across? I don't care that your dad's cousin's dog's puppy walked by a wood shop one time and got lung cancer because he didn't have a mask on. Okay? I don't care. I appreciate the thought and I appreciate the sentiment, but I wear this thing constantly. Right? I've even got replacement filters here. I don't care that people think that because I don't have a dust collector set up, it's going to cause me problems in the future. All right. I have worked in my basement shop, in my bigger shop, with zero dust collection other than a shop vac. And I'm still here. I've been woodworking for a long time. All right. So I appreciate the concern. But how about you let me worry about my shop? Okay. I don't know who the hell Raj is, Kurt. Third, I really don't care about your opinion of my work or how I run my business. Okay? If you're not buying things from me and you're not paying my bills, your opinion of how I run my YouTube channel or how I run my business really doesn't matter to me. In fact, even if you're buying things from me, I really don't care. Right? I'll figure it out on my own with, input from other people that is actually useful. But really, I appreciate it, but you spent probably an hour, I'm going to assume, writing an email that you thought was going to, I don't know, make me stop woodworking or something. I really don't care about you that much, right? I know that might sound mean, but I don't know you. You don't buy from me. We don't interact in our day-to-day. What's the saying? If you're not feeding me, fucking me, and you didn't give birth to me, your opinion really doesn't matter. I want to add, if you're not a good friend or client, right? So, in the future, like there was a lot of stuff, and I had a lot of things that I was going to say, but I'm not going to call out the email, but I'm assuming that I'm going to get another one, and maybe I'll just start posting them. I'll block out the email address and start posting them on the community page as like a trophy or something. But I greatly appreciate the effort that you guys are making, but I got to take it with a grain of salt because the internet is full of experts. People who have never seen a piece of wood outside of Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever store that you have nearby. And I'm sorry, but just because you watched a guy on YouTube doesn't make it fact. Even the stuff that I watch, or even the stuff that I say, take what I say with a grain of salt. Because there might be something that I'm not aware of, okay? I know what works for me and what I consider and what I've been taught was best practices and things to do. Do your own research, man. I don't know. But that being said, I appreciate everything you guys have. All the emails. I love to get the emails, and I get usually several a day. Most of the time, I get more on Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays than I do the rest of the week, and I think it's because people watch the live stream, and they have things that they want to point out and add. A lot of stuff. I get a lot of really good tips, and I wish I could figure out a way to shout those people out without actually shouting them out. But then other stuff. There's the Karens. Sorry if your name's Karen. There's the Karens and the Kens. who just want to try to watch the world burn. And I gotta say, if this is where you're trying to do it, it's not worth it. All you're gonna do is get worked up. And I'm still gonna do what I'm gonna do. And we're both gonna go our separate ways. Like, but that being said, the video I was going to make was going to be extremely more aggressive, but I thought better of it. Let me scroll down through. Let me scroll through these chats. Hey, Crazy, how you doing, bud? Yeah, everything will definitely definitely get pointed out. I'm in the few, I don't know, has it been a few months that I've been doing the video thing? It has become painfully aware that people will, and I know they mean well. I really do. But I don't care. So if it was a well-respected woodworker, like, I respect Bearded Viking, right? I think he's really good at what he does. If he sent me a 43,000 page email, I swear this email had to be longer than the Dead Sea Scrolls. Just, I'd still be printing it. It was a lot. It was a lot. But right, Henrik? I don't care about liver failure. I'll worry about that later. Oh, that was another thing. Me drinking on camera. Bro, I'm 40 years old. Almost 40 years old. Hop off it. Like, if I want, I'm drinking beer, for crying out loud. It's got like, I have juice in the house that's got more alcohol in it than this. Now, if I was in here, if I'm in here slamming bottles of freaking bourbon, then, or I'm sorry, this is brandy. But if I'm in here slamming bottles, then maybe you have an argument. But I'm not, and I don't. So, what's new in Alaska? I mean, it's actually warmer than Alaska here, I think, now. This effect when it comes from the creek. Be almost done on your saw and sander, look over and say, damn it. Yeah. Like, I wear this thing. I love this thing. I got it off of Amazon. It's Base Camp. I don't know, you guys can't read that, but it's a super comfortable mask. And it's got these little vents so like my glasses don't fog up and stuff. I love it. It works really great. And then I've got, I added this, just strapped a fan until I built the little box thing. I just strapped a filter to a fan, which cleans out the air really fast in here. I mean, it's wonderful. It's a lot better than, just having that fine dust hanging out everywhere. Hey, crappy kid, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming in. I'm sorry, I'm still scrolling through these chats here. I got sidetracked. Squirrels. Yeah, Henrik, I'm sure there will be a lot of backseat wannabe woodworkers out there. And I mean, a lot of stuff that I get from people, there's some really good tips in there. Right, Richard? I'm not sure if you're still here, but there is nothing more rewarding than harvesting your own material and making something out of it. I didn't harvest any of this. I bought this stuff from lumber mills, but I do have slabs that are going to be stacked up back here that I harvested and cut. Or no, those slabs I had the Amish cut. They milled them up for me. What's up, Michael Grumpy Vet? Who needs a glass when you have a bottle? Thinking Dan's idiot troll struck again? Oh, Kid, there's not just one. That was just the longest email. So I wanted to make a blanket statement to people. Like, I don't know. There's probably a 12-year-old out there somewhere that that you could really try to influence a lot more than a 40-year-old who's pretty set in his ways. Might be a better use of your time there. Now, I'm not saying that I want you guys to stop emailing me. I love it. I love when you guys send me pictures of stuff you've done, things like that. I absolutely love that. And I don't mind being critiqued. Like, I don't mind that at all. If you think there's something I'm doing that is wrong, or it might hurt someone who's watching this thinking that they're going to start out and do some of this stuff, absolutely let me know about it. I don't want anybody to get hurt because I do something. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm pretty comfortable in the way I do things. Granted, it might not be the best way. In fact, it's probably often not the right way. But, it is what it is. Trying to shim up the table on the uneven floor here. There we go. All right. Send me clips of Bob Vila doing a job. Perfect. They closed all the mills around there, but there's some private mills. That's what I have is some private mills. They're not like big companies. They're just like little guys. I mean, they've got large operations, but they're not, doing millions of board feet a week or anything crazy. I mean, that's true, Michael. That's true. I've seen some of the people in Max's chat send me clips of Bob Vila doing the jobs. You know what? I'll keep those. Bob Vila is pretty good. Well, the whole New Yankee Workshop era crew has always been a favorite of mine. All right, now, what do I need to... Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I need to run into the house and grab that basket that I have to use as a sizer. So give me just 1 second. I'll let you guys look at this nonsense going on back here for a second. All right, I'm back. It's really weird. It's humid and warm outside, but cold in here. All right, so this is the basket. I've got to make one this size, but only about that tall, right? Only up to about the bottom of that handle. Which I think will be fine. I think that'll be a quick, easy build. I'm going to build it out of cedar. Just for, it's going to be outdoors. We don't have to worry about the rot and things happening. I don't want to build it out of something like cherry or purple poplar, anything real nice. Because if it doesn't get maintained, then it'll just fall apart over time. Am I back? I'm always back. Michael, I'm going to come in there just to give you tips on how to fish properly. Troll you a little bit. I think I have a great channel. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. The War and Peace version of Shop Safety, PPE, and how to live longer as a woodworker. No, I'm not in Alaska. I'm in Pennsylvania. There's somebody who comes in here that's in Alaska. Sergeant Grass, maybe? He might. I think he's in Alaska, or he lived in Alaska. I can't keep it straight. Also, pretty convenient location for this here koozie. Just saying. Oh, no worries, Richard. No worries. So I did just see the largest bandsaw I've ever seen in my life at the lumber mill. That thing, like, so the mouth of it, this portion between the table and the top of the carriage, that thing is 3 feet tall, right? And I could lay down. I'm 6 feet tall. I could lay down between the blade and the back of the frame. Like, I don't know what dude is sawing with a bandsaw that size, but whatever it is, he can do it. Ernest and Trapper Scotty? Oh, cool. Central Idaho. Nice. How's your weather out there? That old effort mark? Yeah. We troll you lovingly, though. Like friends. Not like tool bags. So, I need to make a basket. And I'm not going to do a tapered basket. I'm going to do a square basket. Right? So, this is tapered, right? The base is smaller than the top. I'm going to do a square basket. Oh, I guess it's easier to measure things when I have it. So we're going to go about 11.5 by 7 3/4. And about 5.5 inches tall. Let's bump it up to 6. So 11.5 long. 7 3/4 wide. 6 tall. So we're going to do a slatted box. I don't know why I just threw that over there, because I want those measurements. Lay that on the bandsaw here. Alright, so we're gonna do slats. I don't want to do a solid box. I want to do slats, so it looks more like a crate. Isn't that going to fit it? No, that's just what they were using before. She wants to replace it with a nice wooden one. These putting stuff in a solid bin, it collected water, and it didn't. When they put stuff in it, they couldn't really see anything, so they wanted something that they could see stuff. Yeah, it's rainy here too. Hi, Mark, how you doing? All right, so I think I can do this without running the planer, because I have some. I've got some cedar that I've already planed down, so I just want to find something nice. We are going to run the chop saw, the miter saw, and we're going to run the table saw today. So. Oh, by the way, while I'm walking back and forth here, there's that little end table thing that I made. It didn't turn out too terrible. I'm not angry at the coloring. I got a nice sheen on the top. Ignore those sanding marks. I just never wanted to fix it. I didn't care that much. But she is stout, that's for sure. Alright. Between these pieces, I think we'll have something that I can make something out of. Good morning, James. How you doing? Yep, cedar is water and it's rot and bug resistant. Absolutely. I appreciate that, Richard. Thank you. Let's see. I guess we should start with cutting things down to size. So, I'm going to make my box. I'm going to build it. I'm going to build it with brad nails. Probably 18 gauge nails and wood glue. I'll have to run to the house and grab the wood glue, but we're not there yet. The end caps are going to have engraving on them, and I think the top rail, or maybe the middle rail on each side, is going to have an engraving on it. So assembly might not happen today, but we can dry fit everything to see how it's going to work. We'll just have clamps on it, right? So let me break out the chop saw. And, oh, you know what? I need it 7 3/4, so I'm going to have to do a glue up anyway. I'm going to have to glue up both ends. So let me get the chop saw, the miter saw, and we'll do that. Also, look at my pretty spalted maple. Isn't that sexy? This side's got a big wide split in it, but isn't that pretty? I love when I find these little bits in their scrap bin. And then I got another little piece here. Right? I think it's sexy. I love spalted maple. And I'll buy these little pieces all the time from the mill because it's usable for me. Whether you're building a small project or you're building, you just need something to provide a little bit of accent color to something. It works out really well to have that little stuff on hand. Not like scrap pieces, but off-cut pieces. I'm trying to make a concerted effort to not have as much scrap laying around. By scrap, I mean anything under, if it's under, 6 inches, I'm generally throwing it out. Unless it's like black walnut or nice white, dark, bright white maple. I'll keep that stuff for some, like detail work. Messages can't be sent. What message? Oh, I was trying to troll somebody. I got one of those text messages telling me that I've got to pay my pay my my tolls balance, like, and where I'll face jail time and bad credit. And I went, really? That's the best you got? Come on. But apparently the number doesn't exist anymore. I feel really bad about that because I put some effort into trolling those people. 150-year-old maple tree in your yard, 17 foot around it? Nice. The downside to maple is the center rots out. Maple and walnut. Big maples, big walnuts. The center is usually the first thing to go. But that being said, if it's not, it's awesome. You know, if you ever take the tree down. Or B, even if it is, if you cut pucks out of it, discs, 6 inches, we'll say. Excuse me. And that hole then allows you to do all kinds of things with it. If it's, I've seen people do things like put a fish tank in the center of that, and cheap but easy to work with hardwood, cherry. It is the easiest on your tools. It is one of the softer hardwoods, and it looks gorgeous. And it's, around me, it's about $2.50 a board foot. So a board foot is 1 inch thick, 12 inches wide, 12 inches, square. That's a board foot. There's a bunch of calculators online that you can use to figure that out. You hope it'll outlast you. Yeah, it's a shame when them old trees come down. My neighbors over here, they had a giant maple, and the center of that one wasn't rotted out. But nobody has a saw. They couldn't find anybody with a saw big enough to cut through it, because I was going to have them get me some slabs off of it. I was going to make a bunch of dining room tables and stuff. New Hampshire, and you're not sure where to find cherry. Cherry should grow in New Hampshire. What you should do is go find a local sawmill. Almost every town will have a sawmill. Almost. Hop on Google, type in sawmill near me or lumberyard near me, and if it says like Lowe's, Home Depot, ignore it. They're not lumberyards. They're not sawmills. But I guess poplar is technically a hardwood. Sometimes it doesn't look that great. Sometimes it's kind of green. Other times it'll look like this. This is purple. This around me, purple is very common. Purple, blue, and red. Red is more rare to come by, with the red stripes and marks in it. But your best bet, grain on the cherry can be tricky, but a lot of lumber mills will sell straight grain. Hey Steve, how you doing? Thanks for popping in, man. And Steve's a really good woodworker. He might have some other ideas for you, for cheap, good to work hardwoods in the New Hampshire area. I'd go to a lumber yard and see what they've got. I'm willing to bet they'll have some cherry. Steve is my honey's handmaid, by the way, Richard or James. Steve, this gentleman was asking about some easy to work, cheap hardwoods. He's in the New Hampshire area. I think cherry should grow there. Now, I'm partial. I'm biased. Cherry is my favorite wood of all time to work with, and I will always. Every time I get a request for something, that's everybody wants black walnut, right? And they don't. Yeah, maple is good. Yeah, and it's got pretty coloring, um, and really tight grain. But everybody, the first initial contact I have with people is always, hey, I want a, I don't know, a coffee table, and I really want a black walnut coffee table, and then they don't know that black walnut isn't. It's not just pine or black walnut. They don't understand that there's other woods out there. But they've seen something, probably on the internet or, on YouTube here. And, black walnut is the fad right now. Everybody wants black walnut for everything. But almost every time, some projects, black walnut is better. But almost every time I've been able to convince them to switch to something like cherry with maybe black walnut and accents, right? If the project allows for it. You like black man? I don't. Is that a racist thing? I mean, come on. And I have a almost 100% success rate with people switching to a cherry lumber or cherry wood project in terms of them liking it. Cherry ages well. It engraves amazing. As cherry ages, it will darken and deepen in color. It'll go from you can go from something like this is cherry, okay? You can go from something like this. It's kind of just like pinkish, and the UV will cause it to darken. So if I set this out in the sun for, what is it? I want to say 2 weeks, it will darken as much as it's ever going to darken, and it'll end up, some cherry, now it doesn't all darken at the same rate, but some cherry it'll turn into like a deep, rich, kind of mahogany color. All right, but it's very red, but it's a deep, dark, rich color. Black walnut here with. Hey, John, how you doing, buddy? Black walnut here, beautiful purple and red highlights. Oh, that'd be interesting to see. We don't get a lot of. I mean, I do have some black walnut that's got like purpling going on in it, and it does look really pretty. But I don't think I've ever seen any with red in it. That'd be something I'd be interested in checking out. But yeah, I'm biased. I like cherry wood. Cherry's my favorite. And it's everywhere here. In fact, I've got this summer I'm going to be going and milling up some black cherry trees that are about 70 feet, and the trunks are about 3 feet across. So I don't know if that'll be this summer. I can't remember when they said they were cutting them down. I don't remember if it was this summer or next summer. Oak is tricky to work with sometimes. I don't mind it. Sugar maple, I can't say that I've ever worked with sugar maple. But around here, maple tends to just be maple. It's whatever maples are there, they classify as maple. All right, what do I need to do here? I need to cut some pieces. let's find something with pretty coloring, because I want to make 2 end boards, and I want to make them so that I can butt them together and make it not look so obvious that it's 2 pieces. What? I think that looks pretty. And I got the red kind of off to the side. I might be able to work with that. Although I do have this like cut. That's probably me playing with the band or the track saw. Oh. Make sure I'm going to have the proper width, getting rid of that. Oh yeah, I'll be around 8-ish inches, 9-ish inches, and I only need 7 3/4. That should be fine. All right, and then I need. Do I want it to go vertical or horizontal? If the grain goes horizontal and the side goes horizontal, then it'll kind of flow together better. You know what? I'll cut them big enough that I can do it either way, and we'll see how it looks. We'll cut these to cut a bunch of pieces to 11 inches. I need 4, and then I'll need at least 2 that are about 13 inches. We'll take this piece that's not the prettiest and we'll make that the bottom. So why don't we make them 15 and then no, I won't use that piece. We'll use this piece. Didn't fly very far. So if we go about 15. Alright, these will be my end caps, this will be my bottom. I'm not going to put, I might, who knows, I might dress it up. I might put a cap across the top of it. But I need to cut pieces to make the slats. And I'm probably going to go with, well, let's see, how tall do I need it to be? I need it to be 6 inches. If I went with 3-inch and I could do 1 2-inch strip down the center, engrave something onto that, and no matter. All right. You're right. You're right, Richard. You're right. But if I did a 2-inch strip in the center, and then did 2 at, let's say, 1 3/4 inches, that should, in theory, give me a 1/4 inch gap in between the slats. You're not going to be able to see what's in the box so much. I could do like 1.5 inches. That's only a 1/2 inch gap. I don't want it to look off, but I also want to try to respect their hey, Lucifer, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. I do want to respect their desire to, be able to see things. So maybe I'll do a 2-inch wide strip and 2 1-inch strips. And that should give me an inch gap in between each, and we'll see how it looks. What do you think? I think that sounds right. Do I use biscuits? Very rarely. Biscuits are for alignment, not strength. If I'm doing up something that's rather large, chances are it's going to be thick, and then I'd rather use dowels, because dowels will at least add some strength. In fact, I have the project I'm going to be starting this week, once my lumber acclimates. There's going to be dowels in that, and that is going to be the joinery method for 90% of the build. But they're not going to be single dowels. They're going to be, I don't know if I have any out here. They're like, if you took a drill bit, hang on, let me dig this thing out. It's down here in this black case, and I'll show you what I'm talking about while I think about how this is going to look. It's just going to take me a minute to dig it out because, I don't use it very often, so I buried it. There's very few projects that justify using it. At least very few that I use or do. What do they call this? A bead lock loose tenon joinery system. And I don't know how old this thing is. This is the jig. Obviously, you can change these out. And then what you do is you drill. If I need 3 holes wide, I drill in this hole and this hole, and then I slide it over. Now I drill in between them, right? And I end up with that. Okay. And then I have different sizes. These ones are just ones that are left in here. Like, here's one that's only 2. You know, and that one's probably been cut down. Yeah, I don't use this very often because loose tenon joinery really isn't required in a lot of the stuff I do. But in this build, I'm going to be using this almost exclusively. There's going to be very little like hard fasteners because I'm looking for longevity of usage. I want to say this is probably something like a precursor to the domino jig, because the domino is basically that without the little, you know, ripples, right? This I bought. I think I bought this from a cabinet shop that went out of business. Or not out of business, but they were shutting down. So I've got a 1/4-inch jig. I've got... Come on, get out of there. I think this is the 3/8 jig, but I don't have the 1/2 inch. Yeah, I want to say this is the 3/8. Yep. And then I've got these things, which I'll be honest, I have no idea how to use them. So I've never used them. I imagine I can drill holes out with these, then put this in, and just clean everything out and make a square tenon. But yes, I think it's a very nice jig, and I bought it for a steal, if I recall. I mean, it's literally a bead lock doweling jig. So I think I've used it a handful of times. I haven't used it in quite a while. But I've used it a handful of times, and I rather like it. It takes a little bit to set up, you know, and it's not as fast as like a domino. I like it. Thanks, I appreciate that. Put all my shit back on top of it so I can forget about it. So I did record a video on setting up the bandsaw, right? One of these, and it'll work for pretty much any bandsaw. But about half of the video, this is the camera angle you got. I'm over here doing things, talking about things, pointing at things, and you're looking over there. So I've got to redo it. It is what it is. I'm trying to do things with the camera and forget that the camera exists and just pretend like I'm talking to, you know, another person. like a person that's standing right here with me. And that has benefits and drawbacks. The drawback being you can't move on your own. All right, I need these to be, you know what, let's go with 15 inches long. That way I have room to work things. Here's a little tip for you guys if you're trying to, you know, you're thinking about starting woodworking. Don't cut to final size right away. Cut oversized. And 209 for that set. I definitely didn't pay that much for it. Although, if it's still available, I should probably get the other adapter that I'm missing, the half-inch one. So, when you're first doing a project, don't cut to your final size right away. Cut things oversized. And how much oversized is going to depend on your process, right? Like if I was sending this through the planer, I'd want it to be probably another 6 inches. That's what she said. But I'm not going to send any of this through the planer. It's already been through. Anything I do now will just be sanding it. But if you cut oversized, then it gives you room to work when you're doing assembly and dry fitting. Like not final assembly, but dry fitting and getting an idea how things work. Just don't forget to cut things down before you do final assembly or you've just oversized your project. Which may not be a bad thing if you oversized everything equally, but you know, if you took every measurement and added 3 inches onto it, you know, your whole overall project is just going to be a little larger. But so when I run these through the table saw, if I find that, you know, I made a cut and now one of my boards has a kink on the end, I relieve that pressure and now it just yeets out. Now, because I made it oversized, maybe that area that's going to be messed up, I can cut it off and still use the rest of the piece. Also, it's a good idea to cut a few extra pieces. If you're doing milling, mill a few extra pieces. Either a couple of pieces that, you know, you can actually use like a replacement piece, or maybe one larger piece that you can cut down to use as replacement pieces. If any of you guys watch me do the build over the next couple of weeks, you'll see that I'm going to cut everything oversized, and I'm going to cut more than what I think I need according to the plans. That way, you know, maybe this piece doesn't look right and I want to replace it with this piece, I've got it available. Or something happened, this piece is bent, twisted, bowed, broken, anything like that. Maybe I find there's a knot that I simply can't work with, you know, some sort of a defect. Any number of things. Now, I'm not saying that you need to have, you know, twice as much material, but my general thing is I want to have about 30% more material than I need. If it's a plan if it's an idea, not an actual handwritten plan or drawn up plan, then I try to shoot more for like 50% of what I think I need, because my estimations, I could be very low. and 50% gives me that buffer. And then when I'm building any long stretchers, I will always make one extra of that long stretcher. And if there's multiple long pieces, you know, different widths and things, I'll pick the longest one, and I'll just make another one of those, because if one of the smaller ones is bad in some fashion, I can't use it, I can cut the bigger one down, right? All right, here's all my pieces. Oh, I did not cut extras for the front, back, and bottom. All right, but I do have extras here. I have at least one extra board here, probably more. I think I actually might have 2 extra boards here, but that board is the same size as my long pieces here, which is also the same size as my short pieces, right? By default. Extra. Now, the thing in doing that is, or the good thing in doing that is, I only have to set the saw up one time, right? If I'm running this through the table saw, and I have a very specific width, I don't have to worry about trying to find that width again. I don't have to worry about getting it perfect. I've already got one. You know what I mean? Like, the saw was already set up and used one time, and I don't have to try to do it again. Because doing it again is usually where you encounter errors, right? Trying to match something up perfectly again. Like building cabinetry, for instance. If I'm going to build 4 cabinets and they're all going to be the same depth from front to back, I am cutting every single piece that is that width, and I'm doing it all at the same time before I move my saw. After I get those pieces all cut, then I move my saw and I'll cut lengths, right? I'll get all my pieces that need to be, 30 inches long or whatever. I'll cut all of those, and then I'll move my saw and do the next set of pieces. And then I don't have to worry. I know that each piece is exactly the same size. Right? There'd be minimal error or chance for error. There's always a chance, but now a little something of what you guys can expect here next week when I start to build. There's going to be music playing, right? So if YouTube hates me, then YouTube hates me. I don't know if it'll be horizontal or vertical. It may even change during the day, or change during, from day to day. There will be a lot of noisy tools. I have rough cut lumber. I will be milling everything. I'll be planing everything, jointing things, cutting things. It'll be loud. So a good portion of it, at least in the beginning, is going to be loud. There may be some swearing, some unhappy me. There may be there most likely will be some me standing here just looking at something for a while. Trying to see, just thinking, trying to visualize things, thinking about different ways to modify things or whatever the case may be. These are all things you can expect to experience over the next couple of weeks. There will probably be very little interaction. All right. I hope hope to take little breaks and right, depends on where you want your end grain. Yep. I hope to take little breaks and interact with you guys that are watching, you know, every now and then. But I have to get the build. I have to work on the build, so I don't want to get bogged down in you know, chatting with you guys as much as I enjoy it. I also know that I'm easily distracted, and I will come out here and spend a day out here talking to you guys and get nothing accomplished. So I'm like a child when a cartoon is on, or an adult when a cartoon's on. I tend to watch cartoons. Don't judge me. All right, what do I need? I need my table saw. And yes, I will likely have my mask on. Oh, you don't have to be quiet, Richard. I hope you guys can interact with each other. Keep yourselves entertained while you're hanging out watching me. And I mean, I greatly appreciate anybody who hangs out, chills out. There's a lot of good people in the chat, and the moderators are very diligent. They tend to keep things well under control. All right, let's see. Let's find a couple of pieces that I like the look of. Start with these two. But like I said, YouTube will probably. We're still here. All right, James. Been doing woodworking since grade school, and you're 68 now. Awesome. That is awesome. I bet you know quite a bit more. Well, I bet you've forgotten more than I've learned about woodworking. I think that's a pretty safe bet. All right, I'm gonna run the table saw here for a few minutes. I got to cut a couple of 2-inch strips, and I want to cut a couple of. I think I'm gonna go 1.25 inch. We'll see how that looks. But first I need to make sure I got a flat edge or straight edge. Oh, dang. A nice little plate. Thanks, Matthew. I appreciate that, buddy. Thanks. Yeah, I do love this saw. This is a really nice saw. It's got the options that I wanted, which is like a rack and pinion fence. No, I'm right-handed. I just step to the side, so if anything throws back, it'll typically go past me. Yeah, push sticks are definitely important. Oh, the watch threw you off? Oh yeah. No, that's my left hand. I've always put my watch on my left, right with my right. Okay, so I'm going to have to do some glue ups. That's got some really nice shit. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. It's got some chatoyancy to her. It looks like I won't have to do any jointing. These pieces have a very good fit. So obviously I won't be finishing this today because I got to do glue up, and then I leave my glue up sit overnight. But yeah, this is some peachy stuff. And make sure I've got the distance here that I need. Where's my pick? Oh yeah, I'll have plenty of space. Plenty of meat on there to play with. Okay. And then I'm thinking that I'm going to use some of these bits of these little offcuts here from doing the sides. Which will be, spaced like so. I think I'm going to use these and maybe create some legs or something, some standoffs for it. Maybe. I apologize. I didn't realize that width was going to be wider than my material. Or I would have done a glue up earlier so I could finish it. Hey, Dade, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for popping in. And the fence? Well, my fence is on the right side. I know here it looks like it's on the left, but it's on the right. Everything's backwards. Like, it's all backwards. Because YouTube hates Android, I guess. But I'm gonna run into the house and grab my glue, and I'll come back out and we'll get these glued up, and what I'll probably end up doing is I'll probably end up going live again tomorrow morning, and tomorrow morning then I will assemble this. There is one more project that I'm supposed to get done this weekend. Got the lumber here for it, but it's going to be a very noisy project, so I probably won't do that with you guys because I have to do some milling and then another glue up. And you guys are going to listen to enough of the milling when I start doing the cherry lumber. But give me just a few minutes. Let me run into the house real quick. My glue is right by the back door, so it's like 20 feet away, 30 feet away, something like that. I'll be right back. Yeah, Richard, I keep it in there so it won't freeze. I take all of my, in the winter, because I don't keep it heated in here when I'm not in here, I take all my freezable things and I put them inside. And then I bring them back out once either I need them or temps have come up. You know, like this weekend, I'll have the heat on. Excuse me. See what happens when I wear a mask? I'll have the heat on overnight, so it'll keep the shop up to temp. And I won't have to worry about anything freezing. And my glue will set proper. You can relate? Yeah. All right, I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. All right, I'm back. Sorry it took so long. Had to Had to give the dog a treat. You know, you open the door, that means you came home, which means you must pay the dog tax. All right. Well, you know what? I got some panel clamps. Let's overkill this a little bit, shall we? I guess first things first. All right, this plastic table cover rolls, amazing stuff for glue, stain, all sorts of things. As you can see, I don't use it all the time, mainly because I'm lazy. But and I got this from Sam's Club. It comes in a, I don't know, 400-foot roll. I don't know how much. 40 inches wide by 300 feet long. And that I love it. Like, this is all it is. It's like those cheap picnic table cloths that you can buy, you know, from the, I don't know, the dollar store. Now they're not the most sturdy thing in the world. You don't want to be going all crazy dragging things around on it, but it's cheap, disposable. I can't remember. I bought that roll so long ago, I can't remember what I paid for it. So I want to say it was very cheap. We're going to go a little overkill on this because I don't have shorter panel clamps. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try something. See if I can get them, two of them done in the same one. Also, wax if you got clamps, wax your clamps. Wax them because the glue sticks to them. If you wax it, the glue just flakes right off. I haven't waxed these in a long time on the top, and now I have to spend some time cleaning them. Never seen it before? Thanks. Hey, I'm happy to help. I don't remember where I got the idea from. I think I got the idea from a friend of mine who was using the cheap tablecloths. Like, it just had packages of them. And, or he would use the old tablecloths. Like, after a picnic, he'd just keep them and reuse them. And thus far, I haven't had them react with anything. Yeah, some things that'll get all like wrinkly and kind of like sort of dissolve. Yeah, I haven't had these do anything thus far with anything that I use. So far so good. You know, getting glued down in the little notches is the worst. All right, I'm gonna have to spend some time cleaning these. I got to do some maintenance in here anyway, get some stuff cleaned up before I start to build. So I'll be doing that this week. Now, I wonder if I can do 2 of these and then just throw one on top and see. I don't know if that's gonna. It should stay square. It shouldn't like blow up or anything. And this is only cedar, so be gentle. But now these are all obviously oversized pieces. So any crunching I do on the edges, and I mean clearly I got to cut this off because there's that when I was playing with the track saw. A white unisaw. I'm not sure. Is that a brand or is that a like the goodness, I can't remember the name of the saw anymore. Craftsman made a ton of them. You had a table and you just pulled this saw across. The blade was on top instead of, you know, it didn't do this nonsense. You could turn the blade. Oh man, I can't remember the name of it anymore. Need a pick out. Oh, sorry. Unisaw sounds familiar. A model? All right. That's what I thought. It sounds familiar, but I just can't. I can't picture it. Urgh. Oh, okay, gotcha. Now, because I have a known point here, it's going to make it kind of imperative that I set that in the center of my workpiece. Okay, like I want it. That is a lot more glue than I thought it was going to be. Like I want this seam to be dead center in my final project. Okay, so that's a known point. I can measure off from that. All right, for the when I cut these down to size. Now, some cedar has natural oils in it. Some types of cedar have more oils than others. And glue struggles to adhere to it. You'll get like a surface adhesion where it's not actually holding the wood together, it's just kind of stuck together. And the way around that is to use some like isopropyl alcohol and wipe down your glue seams. Now this species of cedar doesn't have that. I mean, I've got oils in it, but it's not enough to change my glue adhesion. Just make sure all my stuff is square here. Now, you don't... I know yeah, this is Type Bond 3. It's Type Bond 3 is the glue that I use 99% of the time. then I don't have to worry about if it's going to be exposed to moisture or anything like that. And there it is. I knew it was out here somewhere. Now, Type Bond 3 is a darker glue. It's not, when it dries, it's a bit of a darker line. Now I've worked with a lot of cherry, so that the darkness of it works with the cherry. It doesn't like contrast it at all. And with the cedar, I don't think it contrasts it really. Give this a little bit more. You don't want to squeeze too tight. You just want it to be tight. Hey Wayne, how you doing, bud? Thanks for popping in, man. I appreciate it. Alright, we're sitting on here. We're flat. I'm going to give this enough of a tighten that it's not going to fly out. I think that'll be all right. So, here we go. There's two panels, the two end panels. I guess that's fine. All right, I'm gonna do one more for the bottom, and then I guess we'll just shoot the breeze for a bit, and then I'll answer any questions you guys might have. I'll stand here and have a drink, even though someone's going to cry about it later. I need one more clamp. Oh, so I love these Harbor Freight panel clamps, right? You have to be careful. If you get to putting too much pressure on it, you will drive that little latch right there. That's what holds it. Okay, you will drive that. You'll tear the aluminum. Okay, like there, especially. Now you can fix that by just flipping it over. Okay, so you flip it over and you take the back side, you take a punch and you just smack it flat, and you'll fix it. It probably won't be as strong as if it was never messed with before, but they're like, I don't know what the 36 inches are. I think they're like $13 a piece. Like they're super cheap. You have to make some concessions with them, right? But they're pound for pound, they're a great value, I think. Yeah, haters will always hate. That's true. Now, if you're doing a lot of, high-end work, maybe you want something a little better, quality-wise, and that's your prerogative. But for people that are just starting out, pound for pound, Harbor Freight clamps, they're amazing. Them and the blue metal F clamps. These things, they're amazing. And these are dirt cheap, but they're all steel. I've got a bunch of them. I'm getting more. Let's get these all. Oh. Got some glue in there I got to dig out real quick. So the project, the rocking bassinet I'm going to be building is going to be kind of a joint project between my design and a Woodsmith magazine design. I have the magazine that their original was in, and I really enjoyed, or I liked the design, and so I just took the basic idea of it, and I'm making several changes to it so that it fits kind of my vision. So when I start building this, you guys who poke around on things like Woodsmith and whatnot, you will probably recognize the basic idea of it. I have to make some changes I have to make for design, just because I don't have to make design changes, but I want to. And then one important change I have to make is for being able to ship it, because it will have to have some assembly required. And while I fully trust the guy that it's going to, and his ability to assemble things, straight cut, stretch, boot cut, medium or dark. Sorry, Bex, I didn't see your message. I'm going to a dinner tonight for a friend. It's her birthday, and all of my jeans have wood glue on them because, believe it or not, waterproof wood glue doesn't come out in the wash, and I want to look appropriate. So they're going shopping, and I said, hey, while you're out, if you could help me not look like a bum and pick me up a pair of jeans, I would appreciate it. Now, 3/4 inch pipe clamps, always a good idea. So I have 2 3/4 inch clamps right here. They are 6 feet long. Yeah, no, after it dries, it's done. It's done. And I have this bad habit. I won't grab a paper towel. I'll go, oh, I got glue on my hand. I better wipe it on my pants. And then continue working. Now, every pair of jeans has glue right here. Not so much on this side. Always on this leg. Every time. Like, look at this. Look at this. Can you see this down here? It's all glue. All right. So that would be one of the great things about like Type Bond 1 is you could wash out. All right, we're pressed down. We seem to be fairly flat. So we'll let this sit. We'll grab the other one. We'll let it sit up here, and instead of the floor, so I'm not putting glue on my floor. It's unlevel enough. I don't need to encourage it to be more jagged. There we go. I apologize. I thought this was going to be a really simple, cool, quick build. I didn't realize I was going to have to do glue ups, so it kind of messed my whole deal up. But do I chew? I used to smoke, but now I use these things, these nicotine pouches. These things have I've traded one vice for another, basically. It's still nicotine, but apparently it's not going to kill me. All right, I had a drink. Found it. All right, so here's where we're sitting at right now. We got the bottom glued up, the blank for the bottom, obviously. It's oversized. You can see the ring worn on my pants? Yeah. And then I have the two sides here, right? They're not glued in the middle. This seam isn't glued, but this seam and this seam is. So I have two separate pieces, oversized. And that. And that. So, that's where we're sitting at so far. And I think... yeah, at least it's not in my back pocket. So, I was thinking about this, and I think that these will be enough. So I need a 6-inch from top to bottom, because I will overlap. I'll overlap the bottom with the side rails, right, and the front and back caps. So I need 6.5 inches, which means I can open my 1/2-inch gap up just a little bit more to about, well, 3/4, I would assume. Which puts me right about here in terms of spacing. Okay? And I think that that'll be okay. I think I'll have enough visual in here. This is wide enough that I can engrave something nice onto it. And I can do the same with the other side. And then just assemble it with glue and some brad nails. And obviously the glue will be doing most of the work. And I'll put the bottom, I'll recess the bottom into everything so that I can brad nail through the front, back, and the bottom rail here. But I think that I will be able to give them what she asked for, which is a box for her brother's grave. I think that'll turn out really nice. Like I said, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that I was going to be doing things bigger than the material I had, or I would have done glue ups yesterday when I was out here poking around. So now we get to just kind of hang out Um, I'm not going to do any engraving on it yet. I'll get the dry fit done first. I'll get everything cut down to size, and then I'll take the engraving over. So we'll do that. Probably do that tomorrow morning. Um, I'll just pop on early. This shouldn't take long. The engraving will take just a few minutes, and it won't be really that big of a deal. And then assembly will take next to no time at all. This will be a quick assembly job, assuming everything fits proper. But my pieces are significantly oversized so that I have working room. I can wiggle back and forth, I can play with it. So, what are you guys' plans for this weekend? Now that I'm in glue up, there's nothing really else that I can do other than clean up some. But I'm going to need the saw in the morning anyway. Buying men's jeans is worse than buying undies? Why is that? Look, there's boot cut, there's relaxed fit, and that's pretty much it. That's all you need. There's straight cut. Those have their place. Relax straight. I had some stray little fuzzies coming out of the top of my. I don't think those were ever sealed. Woman shopping for men's jeans. Never would have thought that would have been an issue. So, what kind of plans you guys got this weekend? I can tell you my weekend is going to be finalizing this, knocking out one other quick project, or at least getting it in glue up, and then stripping everything out of the shop it's in my way, and getting everything packed up, moved out of the way so I can work. Hey, Richard, I'd appreciate you coming in anytime, man. You're a great person to chat with. Nice to meet you too. They're medium light, but they're blue. Whatever. I'll wear a blue and black flannel. It'll go with them nicely. I don't think you guys have ever seen me not looking like a bum. Not you guys, but well, yeah, you guys. But I meant Bex and Steph. I don't know if they've ever seen me sort of halfway dressed up. Well, Steph's seen me in a suit a few times. That's about it. Well, if you guys are pretty well done, we could call it an early one, and come over and visit if it didn't live so far away. I don't have a problem with people coming over and visiting. All right. Well, you'll see me halfway dressed up, I guess, looking like less of a t-shirt bum. It'll be a t-shirt and a flannel. Maybe I'll even put my boots on for you. Hey, Bayram, how you doing? I hope I pronounced that right. But yeah, Richard. I mean, it's been a great time chatting with you. I hope you have a good weekend, and I hope to see you again in the next videos and lives. I go live every Saturday. I usually wait until about now to go live, and then I just go live, till like 7 at night. But tonight I had to go live early. And then Sundays, my typical live is at noon, and it's a horizontal live where we just sit around and chat. I show people things or answer questions, or we just shoot the breeze. Now, starting next week, that's going to change a bit. Because next week it'll be every one of my lives, with the exception of the Sunday chill, is going to be me actually in here working. So I'll go live pretty much every day, every evening, and do some work. No, that's fine. I really don't have the energy to troll you, but I'm pretty sure that your mom did the biggest troll ever when she gave birth to you. So I don't think I can top that right now. But appreciate the view. Hope hit that thumbs up on your way out, though, will you? It's 2K to Wisconsin. Oh, you're way over. Are you in Alaska? Is that why you were asking about Alaska? Got a great recipe if I want it. I appreciate that, but I can afford real food. I don't have to eat rodents. Although my cat, she caught a mouse last night, tortured it for hours. Idaho. Oh, that's right. You said Idaho. Idaho, that's right. You said central Idaho and it was raining. All right, I remember. Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained. At least you guys got potatoes. Potatoes are good. Garlic butter, 15 minutes in the air fryer. Garlic butter and air fryer is pretty well the best way to cook anything, I guess. I think you might want to be on one of those channels, though, that has the flies all over the food when they're doing the street food. That seems to be more up your alley. Nothing wrong with a little playing around, I guess. You can't just pop it in your big old mouth. It's like a chicken nugget, for crying out loud. Must not be American. Because, America, we know how to eat around here. We know how to eat real food. American from Kentucky? Oh, that explains a lot, I guess. Potato, always the potatoes. We've got a potato chip plant up the road, and so a lot of the farmers around here have been they've been doing potatoes a lot, and so they'll cycle different fields into potatoes, and I think it was last year. Last year it was just potato fields as far as you could see. My whole drive into my day job just potato fields. Sometimes it's corn and wheat or, whatever grass types they're growing, soybeans. Now, this is just potatoes, as far as you can see. That's how I imagine. That's how I imagine Idaho is, just potato fields. Like Nebraska is just cornfields. Reds, I have no idea. I don't know what kind of potatoes they grow. I know the one place you can buy bags of potatoes from them, so they must sell them in stores. I just don't know what stores they sell in. But the typical, like white bag with that little net window in it, that heavy paper bag. I don't know if they grow different potatoes for them or not, but the potato chip plant is shearers. Like the other name for like sheep shearers. Like, I believe that's the name. They got bought out and then changed the name and then got bought out again and changed the name again, or changed the name without getting bought out. I don't remember. They changed the name like 2 or 3 times now. Southern Idaho's farm. I've never been to Idaho. I don't think. I might have cut through Idaho going around Nebraska one time, but I don't think so.
Country boy survive, mess with my family, I'll cut you and gut you and tie your hide, set you on fire.
Yeah, I don't think that I'd have to look at the map to see the states that I had gone to. If I went to Idaho, I have a shot glass for them. I don't think I have one. I did drive through Colorado. Those mountains are nice. Like the roads the highway that I was on was super cool. There was this one rest stop, right? So the highway, my lane was here. The southbound, I guess, lane was like up here on stilts. And then there was like a rest stop. So I had to drive down this huge mountain, down to this flat, and the rest stop was right on the river. It was super cool. And then I ended up taking a nap there. It was really nice. Nice, sunny, warm, mountains all around. Rolling river. It was great. Conked right out. I've definitely never been to North Idaho. I know that for sure. I imagine it's similar to, well, probably a cross between Colorado and maybe the Dakotas. Oh yeah, Idaho's way north. I don't think that I would have gone through. If I did, it would have been just the corner. No, I don't think I did. I think Colorado was the only mountain state that I went through. Because I went from the Grand Canyon up to Mount Rushmore. And yeah, I don't think I came anywhere close to Idaho. I mean, the pictures that I've seen of it seem like a really cool place. What's my job? I take pieces of wood and I glue them together, and then people buy them from me for some unknown reason. No, I do. This is my business, Elegant Woodcraft. It's a business that I started in April of last year. I've been doing woodworking for a long time, probably 10, 15 years now, something like that. Just putzing around, doing my own thing, not trying to have a business. And my day job is I'm a Chrysler mechanic. I do that. That pays the bills while the business is building until I can transition from needing a day job to full-time woodworker, working for myself. That's the ultimate goal. And I am on track thus far, knock on wood, this year, if I can't quit the day job, I can at least cut it back to part-time. So dreams do come true, I guess. Anytime, Bayram. I make anything from tables to this is going to be like a little crate for a person. This stuff that I got going on here. I do laser engraving. There's one of my lasers. The other one's in the house. The big one, I got the big one in. The 4 foot by 8 foot one, I got that in, but I don't have any place to set it up, so it's in the basement where it's going to be. I got to build a table for it, and then I can assemble it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I got, a bunch of lumber back there. I like to work with cherry, and try to build things that people like. I make a lot of cutting boards. I don't make very many geometric cutting boards, just because the level of effort required for them raises the price, and I try to keep everything at a reasonable price level. So I do a lot of edge grain cutting boards. People seem to like those. I made this little end table thing over here that's getting delivered today. Let's see. Next week I'll be starting a rocking bassinet build for a buddy of mine for his first granddaughter. So that'll be a fun build. I haven't built a piece of real furniture in a long time. That's what I enjoy building. Hey, Trip, I appreciate that. Thank you. I try to be genuine. I mean, no point being fake, I guess. Probably sub 2 minutes. Yeah, I've been doing woodworking for a long time, and then just kind of selling stuff on the side. It took me years to get to the point where no. See, anybody who's named the Big D, just saying. It took me years, I think, to get to the point where I thought my work was good enough for people to want to buy. A lot of the early years were trying to learn different techniques, and sure, trying to learn different techniques and get better at the craft. I do. I try to respond to everybody. If I see people, now a lot of times, depending on my mood, I'll take things like that, and I will troll them back. Just not in a trolling mood. I mean, it might be good for you, but I feel sorry for whatever poor girl you've pulled out of the streets there. But yeah, so there's a little bit about me, I guess. I'm doing the YouTube thing because I wanted people to see that you don't need a, massive shop with tens of thousands of dollars worth of tools to do things, to do good work. You should probably scroll up one and find those poor poor Indian girls who are just looking at the camera, I feel like they'd appreciate you. But I wanted people to see that you don't need tens of thousands of dollars of tools. Yeah. Have a good one. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on your way out, please, bud. You don't need a massive shop. You know, you can get by. You can do good work with budget tools, I guess. Hey, Mama Hen, how you doing? And then as you make stuff and you sell it, you know, or whatever, as people start coming to you for projects, you know, you can take that money and reinvest it into your shop. That's what I do. I started off with I still have it. It's in my basement. It's a table saw that's probably about that wide, right? So I don't know, 2 feet, 2.5 feet, little contractor saw, and it is older than, well, it's probably older than I am. And I started with that saw. Most horrible thing ever. It had a fence that I had to clamp to the table because the little hooks were broken. And I had, every time I moved it, I had to measure both ends and make sure everything was good. And now, you know, then I upgraded to a Cobalt table saw, and I thought that was the best thing in the world. Now I've got my DeWalt table saw. I used to have a Delta table saw, a cabinet saw. It does, but not as much precision as you might think. There's a lot of people. So I did some videos I have to edit to post, but there's a lot of people that think these two tools came from probably Lowe's, right? That's one of my bigger stores that I shop at, right? There's a lot of people that think that these aren't precise enough to do woodworking. I mean, these are both, they're square to each other. In my video that I'll get edited and I'll probably post it as a short. I show that both of these are square, and they're not red, which seems to be the big sticking point for people. Is you have to buy the red tools because they're machined to, you know, 10,000ths of an inch square. You know, you don't need that. I'll be honest with you, the amount of times that I've needed that level of precision is probably zero. All right. Wood moves. Every time you cut a piece of lumber, it's going to move. You're now opening up fresh wood to the environment. When you take it, you know, you assemble it here and then you put it in your house, it's going to change. You know, the humidity levels, the temperature, everything is going to move, and so you account for that. Everything doesn't have to be precision. It's not, you know, you're not building clocks. That being said, I am building a grandfather clock here soon. Well, I say soon, but I mean in a couple of months. That will be the most precise, most detailed project that I've ever built in my life. But I mean, you want your 90 degrees to be 90 degrees, right? Or at least very close to it. I've got a digital angle meter up there for my saw blades, so that it allows me to get my saw blade, like on the table saw, the miter saw, it allows me to get them to 90 degrees or 89.9, you know, whatever angle I decide that I need to make a perfect joint. Believe it or not, when you're doing a miter, Like, okay, so earlier today, I cut these on the table saw. All right. I didn't joint them. I didn't do anything. All right. That's not terrible. Oh, except for there. That's not terrible. All right. I did these three glue ups that I have here. I did on the table saw. I didn't need to run them through my jointer. In fact, my jointer is right here. It's a little 6-inch benchtop jointer. And I'd be honest with you, I don't use that near as much as I thought I would when I bought it. Because I don't need to. The table saw, if properly set up, will do pretty much everything you need. I mean, I got my planer and stuff, but... Sorry, that was a really long-winded way of saying, yes, it does take a certain amount of precision, but it's not down to the thousandths of an inch precision. You know, if you're within a percentage, you're usually pretty good. Which is why you can do things with a contractor saw. What this is a contractor table saw and a Cobalt cheap Lowe's sliding miter saw. Hand planes are a forgotten art. There's a couple of guys on YouTube that do all hand tool work, and they are phenomenal. Rex Kruger, he's one of my favorites. He just hand tool work, and he's awesome. I've got a couple of hand planes, but I haven't maintained them, and so my frustrations with hand tools are me. They're me based. They're not tool based. They're my failures, my inability to understand and properly do the job. But they are very useful, and I intend to get some in here to do different things. There was a guy who was in here earlier, My Honey's Handmade, Steve. He has this little like rabbit plane that you can take and just do like little rabbits on it, right? Super fast with him doing it, super quick, and he does really good work with it. Based on his videos and his live streams and stuff, he's probably live right now. You collect them? That's nice. That's one thing I've noticed about a lot of woodworkers is woodworkers will generally pick a tool and get a boatload of them. They just start collecting them. I haven't decided what I'm collecting yet. But, hand tools seem to be the number one thing that woodworkers will collect. Different chisels. I've seen people with chisels made from all over the world, and they're not using them. They just got them so that they can have them in their collection. Maybe they'll use them once in a while, but there's a lot of guys that have, in the background, they'll have like a wall of hand planes and things. There's another YouTuber that I can't think of his name offhand, but he talks about hand planes a lot. In almost every video, he's got just tons of hand planes, from the wooden ones made out of like a 2x4 to Stanley number 3s or whatever the numbering is. There's so much variety in the old school hand tools. It's amazing. And to think that the guys back in the day, they would do the same thing, if not the same thing, with the same quality. They'll do it better than most people can accomplish now with power tools, and probably just as efficiently. Like, I've seen some of Rex Kruger's videos where, you know, he went, here's my starting project, you know, or you could see it in the background of a video. And then 2 days later, here's this finished end table. And he did it all with hand tools. At least I assume he did it all with hand tools. He's a hand tool guy. That's what all his videos are about. I don't think he owns one power tool. I'm not even sure he owns an orbital sander. Pretty sure he just straps that sandpaper to a block of wood and working on a display for it. There you go. Sounds like your next woodworking project is already lined up. Hand scrape head. That's true. So I have a hand scraper, and I bet it's in this toolbox right here. I bought a set of them off, I don't know, some website, probably Woodsmith, where it had, you know, the rectangular one, and then they had ones with different like shapes and stuff to them, so you could scrape different things. And using them was great. I mean, good Lord, it's brutal on the thumbs, but that's probably because I don't know what I'm doing. Using them was awesome. Getting the edge good on it was where I ran into a brick wall. Hey, Switzerland, how you doing? Nice to see you. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate that. What's up, Country Carpenter? How you doing, man? So, my project today got a little delayed because I forgot that I didn't realize I was going to have to do some glue ups. So, that's sitting here. All the pieces are cut to rough size. Like these are cut to width, but they need to be cut down lengthwise. The panels will all have to be cut to size, which is, you know, this. There's 2 panels here underneath these pieces. I'm doing really good. Thanks for asking. Oh, at the sandpaper block? If Rex Kruger doesn't make his own sandpaper, then I feel like he's missing out. But I have seen him use card scrapers. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've seen him sharpen card scrapers. And I have played his video just over and over and over and over, and different other guys too. Played those videos over and over, trying to get my card scraper to have a good edge on it, a good burr, as they call it, where you want to curl the metal over a little bit, and that's your scraping surface. But it's a straight piece of metal, and you want it to curl both edges, and I can't do that, apparently. I mean, I try, and every now and then when I'm trying to maintain things and do some maintenance, I'll break them out and try my hand at them again, but I think I'm just ruining them. Like I'm not getting my card scraper, I know, is no longer straight. It's got more of a dip in the middle. Right? Now this is exaggerated, but it curls in the middle. Like it's lower. Probably because that's where I put the most pressure on it when I'm doing stuff, which is probably where my mistake is. Yeah, wire edge. Yep. But you know what does work just as well, maybe not just as good, but it works for me. That's this here carbide scraper that I bought from the store with a blade in it. This is what I use to scrape things. And then, believe it or not, the blade costs more than the whole tool that comes with the blade, so I will usually just throw the whole thing away, get a new one. Although I wonder if Harbor Freight has carbide scrapers and they have packs of blades. I'm going to have to check out their blades and see if they're good. Because this blade's still sharp. Yeah, yeah. That's just a furnace air filter strapped to a fan. I just wanted to try it to see if it actually cleans up the air. Cause I'm gonna build one of the boxes with a fan in it that blows, air through the filters. But I want the air to the dust and stuff to get stuck inside the box, not outside. And it works phenomenally. It is amazing. So when I'm in here doing sanding and stuff, and the whole shop it looks hazy because of all the fine dust. Um, with that on, I don't have any of that. And even if I forget to turn it on and I fill the shop up with that fine dust, after a few minutes, that will clean it right out. Um, Now the only drawback to that is the power switch is between the fan and the filter. So when I put my hand up there to turn it on and off, any dust that's on there will just fall down. Green silicone carbide wheels, huh? Hey, Amy Joe, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, that was my little test to see if that box was going to be worth building. Um, so the way the box works is you get a fan, right, and then you build a frame that fan will fit in. Some people use those like fans that you can put in your window and then close your window on top of it. You'll have like two different fans in there, which is what I'm going to be using. Other people will use much higher throughput fans, and then you get a couple of furnace filters, whatever size you want. I'm just going to do um, probably one that size on the either on the bottom or on the front. I don't really need to have the whole thing be a big filter. And then so you build your frame, build your box, and you make it so you can put that filter on there, or however many filters you want to have on it. And I'm going to have my fan blowing into the box so that all that dust gets trapped inside there, and then I can just open it up, vacuum it out, and be good. I don't know that I've ever sharpened a carbide blade, Richard, but that's good to know. I mean, instead of just throwing it away and getting an $11 tool or a $17 carbide blade, they just sharpen it a few times. And although based on how long these stay sharp, I'd probably sharpen it once per side because it's a double-sided blade. Yeah, I highly recommend, even if you don't want to build I don't know what they call it, an air filter, an air filtration, dust filtration. I don't know what they call it. It's not a dust collector. That's where you're like sucking wood chips out. These things just clean the air. But I highly recommend it. Especially if you're doing a lot of stuff that fills the shop up with like fine dust. And if I have it on when I start working, like quite often I'll have it on all day long. But if I have it on when I start working, I never get the dust kind of everywhere and like settling on everything. It all seems to cycle through for the most part. Regular grinding wheels will overheat and ruin the carbide. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. See, look at you teaching me things, Richard. Hot dog. Built a dust collector for your shop vac. One like this. I used, that's 2 5-gallon buckets, right? And then you put the 2 pipes in, one in the center, one on the edge with the like 45 on it so that it swirls everything in there and drops the heavier stuff out. That was my dust collection when I was in my basement. Just that. With the green wheels. Richard, I'm going to look into that because I usually send like my table saws and my blades and stuff over up the road to get sharpened once or twice until I just get new ones. But if I can sharpen them myself, that'd be one more thing that I don't do. Yeah, those shop vac, the little bucket filter thing, the little cyclone thing, they work great. They do. They work awesome. And if I have my shop vac hooked up to my sander, I won't get the dust in the air, really. Because the shop vac's pulling a lot more than that random orbital is trying to blow out. Yeah, but Richard's saying that you got to use the green stuff because all my saw blades are carbide. Oh, balancing the blade's the hard part. The freight dust collector. So the dust collector that I'm gonna put in here is from Harbor Freight. I think I might be wrong. I'm gonna have to look at it. But it's not gonna be standing in here. It's gonna be sucking through a pipe, dropping the stuff out into a bin outside, and then the return air is just gonna come through the bag in the shop here. But you can't hook a 4-inch dust collector up to a palm sander, right? Because you got what's your palm sander, like 1.5 inch dust port? And when you neck down the 4-inch dust collector, it restricts its volume. It drastically reduces its performance. So hooking up the shop vac, having the shop vac hooked up to the sander seems like a much better idea. And then just once in a while, pop the top open, bang it around a little bit, knock the fines off the filter, then keep going. In fact, I had this huge pile of sawdust over here, mixed with offcuts and things, and I just kept not picking it up. But I hooked up the shop vac to the buckets there, and I was using that to vacuum up the sawdust and not pull the scrap pieces up, and it worked phenomenally. I love using it to clean. So I'll put this on it. I'll put this thing on it, and I just run it over stuff. Cleans up everything real good. Are the green discs the 3M Green Quartz Cubitron? I don't know. I know. The only Cubitron I really use is the net, the Cubitron 2 nets. And I discovered this other brand. So I don't know if the green is Cubitron or not. You'd have to look at the picture of the back of the pad, because it'll tell you like the name and number of it. But here's two other ones that I had found. So this stuff you can buy at Lowe's, at least near me I can. And this stuff works really well in a pinch. It's still ceramic, which is what the Cubitron is. It's just not a net. And then this Serious Grit brand that I bought this off of Amazon. I got a 50 pack of variety. Right? So it's 80 grit to 220 grit, and you get 10 of each grit. I like this stuff. This is ceramic as well. And it cost, like, it's even purple and has the swirly holes in it. It cost about the same as Cubitron 2 paper, not this paper, but the net paper. But if you look on the back of this pack's not even open. I was trying to find a sandpaper that I could use when Cubitron was out of stock and I was running low, so I can buy this locally, which is awesome. And this I can have in 2 days or less. So, and I rather enjoy this stuff. I think it's got about the same performance as Cubitron 2. It does not have the same performance as the net, though, but you can buy net from them. The Serious Grit company does make net paper. Use your wood stove to get rid of scraps, sawdust, and planter chips. I bag my stuff up and then I haul it off to a farm. In fact, I got a bag and a half here that needs to get hauled off. How you doing, Joseph? I'm gonna go with it. Joseph, how you doing, bud? Thanks for popping in, man. Appreciate that. Now, I'm not sponsored by anybody, and I don't do like tool promotion things. But when I find something that I actually use and I can recommend, I'll let you guys know about it. And that Serious Grit, the purple paper, it's the only one I've used. I haven't used any of the other colors. But the purple paper is a ceramic blend. And it works phenomenally. And I want to say that box of 50 sheets was like $30 from Amazon, which is on par with what I was paying for Cubitron. And I haven't seen them out of stock yet, so that's good. Do they last longer? Do they last longer than the Cubitron? No. But in my usage of them, I haven't really noticed a difference in them being any shorter usefulness. Now the net stuff, that'll take off material a lot quicker. And I think it's probably because of the net. I mean, if you guys use the net versus the flat, you know there's a difference in how they both work. Can you wet sand with them? I don't know. I'm gonna look at the box here. It doesn't say anything about wet sanding. I know you guys can't see. Hang on, let me switch the camera around. Come on. That's all the box says. It does say it's a waterproof film backing, so I would think you can wet sand with it. And then, you know, that's the brand. And that's what I got. Like this, I mean, it's nice paper. In fact, I have underneath my sander, my palm sander right there, I have a stack of these papers because even after I'm done using them on the sander, I'll still use them, you know, if I got to hand sand something. But it's good paper. It's good paper. And I don't have it, it doesn't peel off my, like the net quite often will start to like peel off of my sander. And this, I haven't had this come off. Yeah, I've never used it either before I bought this variety box. But like I said, I every time I'm looking for sandpaper, it's because I need it now. And it's too often that Cubitron 2 was out of stock everywhere that I was looking, and I couldn't get it. Or it would be low on stock and the people would jack the prices up, you know, from $30 to $80. And it's not worth that to me. But that stuff, I've never seen them out of stock. I can get it in 2 days, you know, or less because Amazon. They have an Amazon store, and they've got, oh Lord, they've got a ton of paper. I mean, they have different colors, which I assume are different recipes. They've got a lot of grits. I don't remember if they have net. I think they do, but I don't use net very often unless I'm doing like a large surface. But I do still have Cubitron. I have boxes of Cubitron in the house that haven't been opened yet. I didn't want to open them all. I wanted to find a good paper and I wanted to use it in my day-to-day so that I knew it was going to be a good paper. Like that Gator paper you can buy from like Lowe's, like absolute garbage compared to, you know, Cubitron or even Serious Grit. Just absolute garbage. But it's dirt cheap. You got to use 10 times as much, but random orbit sanders have really improved. Yeah, they have. They definitely have. I don't know they've improved enough for Festool money, but maybe one day. All right, guys, it's 3 o'clock. I have been live for 15 minutes shy of 3 hours. We got this stuff glued up. We got the slats cut. Got the general idea of what's going to happen here. If y'all don't have any questions for me or anything, I think we're going to call it an early one tonight so I can go shower, change, and whatnot. He just got here. Hi, Pixels. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. Take a used one, put it in a pan of water, see if it comes apart. I'll do that. I'll take one in now. I'll take in a 120. We'll see if it comes apart. I don't wet sand very often, but if I can, it'd be nice, I guess. Oh. Knock all the dust off the back of it. Thanks, Richard. I appreciate it. You guys all have a great night. I will be live again tomorrow morning. We're going to assemble this box and go from there. All right. So thanks, guys, for hanging out with me, and I appreciate it. Have a good night, everyone.